Hello, Throwdown Nation. This is Matt, and this is just a special edition of the Throwdown with Matt. It's just me, and basically today I'm just going to do a short video giving my thoughts on yesterday's WWE Backlash Premium Live event. First thing I want to touch on, man, is the crowd. The show originated from Lyon, France, and the French fans were just absolutely off the chain. I mean, they were so into the show, constant chanting, the crowd doing the three count in French, and the singing of that song over and over again. It really lent the show, in my mind at least, almost the same vibe that you see in some of those European soccer matches. I mean, the crowd the crowd really helped make that show really something pretty special. I was definitely impressed. And if you wonder why I'm looking down, I've jotted down a few notes just to remind myself of things I definitely want to be sure to touch on while I do this. I'm only really going to comment on a couple of matches in an effort just to keep this short. But Owens and Orton versus Solo Sikoa and Tamatonga was actually really good. I liked how it started off, where things broke down very quickly, and the whole situation got way out of control with security and officials catching finishers from the various wrestlers. And I liked how they had Nick Aldis come out and basically change everything on the fly to make it a no DQ street fight match when it became clear that the whole situation was rapidly coming off the rails. Um, the introduction of Tongaloa was a complete surprise, which in the age of the internet and all of the dirt sheets and everything, having a complete surprise is really something pretty rare and pretty special. So, kudos for WWE for pulling that off. That is difficult to do. And I like the direction things are going with the whole bloodline storyline. It's interesting watching this new bloodline faction develop. And it's going to be even more interesting when Roman Reigns returns, because clearly what's going to happen is he'll be building his own faction to combat this faction that's developing. And I actually see this as kind of an interesting mirror image type of situation. Um, you know, I was talking to somebody about it this morning, actually, and Roman's faction always had a vibe of the mafia, so to speak. They um, they kind of kept things somewhat classy. There was a lot of intrigue, a lot of deception, a lot of behind the scenes politicking, that kind of thing. Whereas this new faction that Solo Sokoa seems to be kind of running, at least while The Rock is away, to me has more of the vibe of a street gang, willing to commit violence at virtually any moment. Um, but in terms of the mirror image thing, what I'm seeing is, uh, when Roman returns, he'll be the head of the table for his faction. I'm actually at this point, when they finally do bring in Jacob Fatu, I actually am thinking Jacob Fatu may end up going with Roman's faction. And he would kind of be the enforcer figure. And then in Roman's faction, I could see the reunited Uso brothers as a brother tag team. And then ultimately, Paul Heyman will choose Roman's faction, I'm pretty sure. Although, one never knows, I guess. And then over on the other side, I would see The Rock as head of the table, Solo Sikoa as being the enforcer figure. You would again have a brother tag team with the Gorillas of Destiny, Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa. And the one missing piece would be having sort of a wise man figure. I'm thinking potentially for their wise man, they could even bring Haku in for a little bit, as he's the father of Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa. But, who knows? Um, but I'm finding that whole thing very intriguing. And, there's still other uh, bloodline related people that have not been in the storyline yet that could be brought in to further flesh things out. So, who knows? It's definitely interesting times. And the other match I want to touch on is obviously Cody Rhodes versus AJ Styles. Being from Georgia, I was pretty tickled to see two Georgia guys, headlining a pay-per-view. That was pretty neat. With Cody being from Atlanta and AJ being from Gainesville. That was just a neat moment, I thought. And I like the fact that that now that Vince is out of the picture, WWE can stop pretending that nothing happens in wrestling outside of the WWE. I liked the fact that mentions have been made frequently during the whole Cody AJ storyline of both of their association with Bullet Club. Um, I liked the fact back during the Owens and Orton versus Solo and Tama Tonga match, that they were able to actually mention the Gorillas of Destiny. Again, or not really mention them, but there were little Easter egg half mentions of them by the commentators. And I just think that's really cool, because that's really a shout out to the I guess the term smart marks that really follow the business and are watching content outside of the WWE orbit. But anyway, as far as Cody and AJ went, I liked the match a great deal, and I liked the fact that there was a lot of reversals out of finishers as opposed to tons of false finishes during the match. That made things a little more exciting, and it was a little bit of a different vibe. Anyway, like I said, I'm not going to have this video be too terribly long, but overall, Backlash was actually a really great show, which, going into the show after WrestleMania, you never really know what to expect. Sometimes it's going to be good, sometimes it's not. In this case, it definitely was well worth your time. So if you haven't had the chance to see Backlash yet, go ahead and check it out. It's well worth your time. And we'll be doing more of these coming up. Thank you for watching. If you like what we're doing here, definitely give us a follow and spread the word. We're going to be doing more wrestling content moving forward as we're getting the Throwdown with Matt off the ground. If you're into music, definitely check out our sister effort, The Lowdown with Matt. We're doing a lot of music-related content, talking to musicians and exploring music scenes from around the country. So anyway, have a great rest of your weekend, and we'll be back soon.